pumped for a couple reasons. Number one, when I got this thing, I didn't realize what it was gonna be. It was like a random news article saying like, oh, you should sign up for the Algae Academy. And I was like, oh, I wonder what that is. So I was kind of starting to get interested in algae. I'd seen a presentation about algae as the future of food and the future of fuel, guys. Yeah, sorry. It's okay. So what we're doing is we're going to grow algae. Okay, so I hope that by the end of this class, you're like, okay, we did some experiments that were not just like a quick one-hitting lab, but something that really required some thought and also a little bit of skill. Okay, and also using tools that researchers use. I'm a sucker for like science equipment, you know, and like, I don't know, when I got this stuff in the mail, I got really jacked because these flasks are expensive. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to get into groups, guys. I can't focus when like people are just talking, you know this about me. So please, there's going to be lots of time to talk in a few minutes. Okay, so you are going to get into groups. You are kick them out. It's all good. It's day, it's Monday, I get it. But like let's just all right. So you're gonna get into groups. I've got 6 stations in the back. Don't think about who you're gonna get with right now. We'll have time to do that. Okay, but I want you to understand, and you can see back there all the equipment. We have 3 things. Okay, we have algae. Okay, and I circled this green with medium. Okay, and notice I got 50 and 50. Okay, number 2, I've got 30 milliliters of algae, 70 milliliters of medium, 30 milliliters of algae, and 80 milliliters of medium. Medium is what the algae grows in. I just can't put this in distilled water. It's got to have some trace minerals in there, some salts, because this algae lives in salt water. We know from Friday that the algae can live in fresh water, even like estuaries where there's a mix of salt and fresh water. Okay, at the back, I have 2 beakers. One has green liquid in it. One has clear liquid in it. Which one do you think is the algae? Green, right? Okay, so this is the algae. Okay, the other beaker has medium. Okay, that medium, folks. Okay, and that algae, there's more medium and more algae in the beakers than what you will be using. Okay, so you do not. Well, you might use it all, you may not use it all, okay? So I'm going to show you the tools that are going to allow us to put this in, okay? So the Algae Academy made these little videos. I want to show the video as an instructional video first. Then I will show you using the instruments that we're going to use today.
Welcome to day 2 of the Algae Academy. Today we're going to be setting up our algae cultures. So I'm going to walk you through that protocol. If we look at the necessary materials that we'll need throughout the day, we'll have a Secchi stick. We'll be using this throughout today and day 4 as well to measure the biomass of our algae culture. We have diluted algae culture as well to start with. A Sharpie for labeling things, always necessary. A 50 milliliter skirted Falcon tube. Diluted algae media. Your plastic culture flask that will be growing the algae in. A graduated cylinder for measuring some volumes. A wheel-style pipetter that we'll be using to put the algae into the flask, and a serological pipette. Excellent. So to start, you'll be using the Sharpie to label your flask. You'll put a team name on here, something fun. I'm just going to use my first name just for today. Here. And
guys.
You'll be assigned a group number from your teacher, and that group number will correspond to the number of milliliters of media and the milliliters of algae that you'll be adding to your culture. So I was assigned group 1, which means I'm going to be adding 50 milliliters of media and 50 milliliters of algae to my culture. So let's start here. So we'll do the media first. So we'll measure out 50 milliliters of media.
We're just going to do this not in a cylinder like that, but in our Falcon tubes. They're the yellow top tubes.
And open up your culture flask. And And for the addition of the 50 milliliters of algae, we'll be using our serological pipette and our wheel style pipetter. So you can open up the package here, and there's the top, and the wheel pipette just goes right on the top of that.
I went ahead and just disinfected because they only gave me so many of these. So disinfected the ones that we used before. Okay, so we will use those again this period. Okay, I'll show you how to do this in a second, but watch it closely because it's not, I mean, it's fairly intuitive, but some people had some issues.
And you can just pull the pipetter out. And the wheel here is how you'll pull liquid up through this, and you can measure, there's graduations on here. Here is 10 milliliters. And what we'll do is you put the pipette in the liquid, pull up liquid, and you can see that moving up the pipette. We're going to get to 10 milliliters. And then we will push the pipette down and the wheel down, and the liquid will come out as well. So that's 10 milliliters. So we will do this 4 more times to get to 50. There's 20. There's 3 times, so that's 30.
All right, so let me show you real quickly.
Let's go.
All right. Are we recording? Okay, we are. Yeah. Okay, couple things. Everything will go in this. This is a number 1. Okay. I'm going to leave this screen up rather than printing off all these things for you today. I just decided to write it up on the board to be easier. Okay. I'm number 1. I have 50 milliliters. So I'm going to do this 5 times, right? Just like the guy did in the video. Okay. So you can see how I'm pulling this up. This is raising, correct? If I want to let it go, I could just push this button. I do not have to use the wheel to do that. And then I can press that down. Okay, that makes it a little bit easier. Okay, now there's a 10 right here. You can see the 10, okay, or a big 0. That's the same, going to be the same thing, but it's 1 down at the bottom all the way up to 10. So that 10 there or the giant 0 is the same thing, okay? So you want to do this 5 times if you have a number 1 on your flask, okay? 3 times if you're a number 2, okay? And 2 times if you're a number 3, okay? Now, this is the medium, and this will go into this Falcon tube, okay? So at the top is 50, top line is 50. Okay, so 40, 45, so it goes all the way to the top. Okay, and if you want to, you can you can measure it out. Okay, 50's all the way to the top. Okay, you see 45, 50's there. Okay, right below the lines. Okay, and then 70 milliliters. Okay, so you have to do 50, pour it in, and then 20 more. Okay, y'all with me on that? Okay, so that will all go into this flask. I have a number 1 on one side. I'll come around a little bit if you want to give yourself a name. other class did, and they enjoyed that. If you want gloves, you are more than welcome to come up here and get some gloves. I'm going to leave those up here. If not, that's fine. Okay, but go ahead and divide yourselves up into groups. Let's go.
I'm going to the back.
What kind of gloves are they? Latex? Oh, no.
100% latex free. Okay, I'm good. I'm good then.
Michael, no, but.
This one or this one? Red one?
Do you guys have tryouts today?
Nope.
Was
Sitting outside for the first time.
fun.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
You guys got games there, right?
Leo.
I don't even know what, like, you guys said like something bad or something.
They won state 2 years ago.
Well, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, they probably aren't very good now.
All right, let's go to it.
They probably aren't very good now though because they're two good pitchers. We won and now they're both college.
Bro, it's full time. Chill, chill.
I'm going to be like.
No, Keaton. Keaton.
Yeah.
Keaton.
It's not water.
Yes. Yep, everything goes in that blue top thing. Yep. Okay. You shouldn't need more of the medium. I was like, you should need, yeah. Okay, that's all right. No. I believe him, man. I like that kid. By the way, look at these gels. This is the one that we left out. This is the one that's still in the bag. It's starting to fall apart, but it stayed pretty good. I bet if I refrigerate that, it'd be pretty not too shabby. Yeah, I'm talking to the camera. But I'll share with you guys in a little bit here. I was pretty excited about this. Yes.
Love kid.
It's the first.
Happy, go for one back there.
The first half is always. Somebody else. It's always.
I'm not gay.
You got a good name for yourself?
So you're
Oh, yeah, we didn't think about it.
You will, you got it, thank you. Okay.
Okay, everybody take a seat, folks.
What'd you do with the latex?
You just throw your latex gloves away. They're non-latex though, because I don't want anyone to go in anaphylactic shock. Okay, throw away your gloves and take a seat. Thanks.
Oh.
Where are the latex come from? How do you lock
Why are you eating my?
Oh, no, latex for me.
All right, everybody take a seat. Take a seat. All right, guys, come on back. Come on back. Shh, shh, shh. Come on back. Thank you. All right, guys, let me talk about what's happening next. Okay. Couple quick things before we go on about the algae. This and this is the same thing. I want to show you my little experiment. This is what happened to the gel where we put our DNA in.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. No, this is the same thing.
Oh, well, it got dehydrated.
Yeah. So all the liquid went out. Yeah, I'll show you here. So this is it. It's just kind of it tears, right? But it's good. Okay. Everyone's busted. All right, now look at this. Okay, guys, I need your attention. Thank you. So tomorrow we're going to start looking at the growth rate of this algae. Okay, we're kind of transitioning from looking at, we would talk about cells. We looked at like the genetics of fruit flies. By the way, we're not done with that experiment yet, but a couple people still need some more countings. Okay, and then so we're gonna then move towards kind of change through time. But I want to show you three things, and one of them you're going to be using. When I first started teaching, I did this when I was in college. We would go to the river and we would test the river quality. We'd look at lots of things like dissolved oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, temperature, pH, and we also wanted to see how cloudy the river was. We call that turbidity. Okay, and so what I used was this thing. This is called a Secchi disc, SECCI-DISK. Okay, so this is it. Everybody, folks, you're killing me today. So this, don't pass that around.
Yeah, that's
Thanks. It's okay. It's okay. Just like with, we're not.
You just said.
Pass it around.
Can I have this? I literally just said, do not pass it to her.
Some people's brains, like the way they think, just hurt them. So,
Well, you're paying attention. This is the
It's
shit.
okay.
All right.
I don't know what.
Okay. All right. I'm seriously thinking about a seating chart, man. I don't want to do it, but I'm like starting to get to the point where I don't want to do that. I like you guys, but you guys are so much fun, but you can't shut up. Okay. I'm literally just asking for like I would have been done like 10 minutes ago. Okay. But I have to stop every freaking second. Okay. I feel like in this class 7th period, literally the moment my mouth opens, you're like, hey, can I have a thing? Can I have this? That's you guys. It's driving me crazy. Okay. Please just let me do this thing. Let me get through the stuff. If we got some time, you can share your crackers and get your ball bags and all of those things. You all with me on this?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, guys. All right. So back in the day, what I did was we had this thing called a Sega disc, and I would literally put this off the side of the covered bridge, lower it down into the water, and I would wait to the point where I couldn't see this black and white anymore. Okay. This black and white would disappear, and I would measure, okay, like the point where it goes away. Okay. It's actually kind of a pain in the butt. It's kind of cool to hang off the side of the bridge. Okay. But like scientifically not like, it's not great accuracy. Okay. Then I got this thing. Okay. This looks like it could be a variety of different things. And there's don't go there.
So,
Right. And there's a dead bug in here.
Ew. Eat it. Eat it.
Okay. Now, this is the same thing. So those of you watching at home, you can see there's that black and white Secchi disc at the bottom. But here on the side, I've got all these measurements. So what I'll do is I'll take this down to the river and I'll fill it all the way to the top. Landon, question. What is that called? It's called a turbidity tube.
turbo.
It is not called Secchi disc. SECCI. Ira made the joke that it was a sexy
That's
disc,
what I was thinking.
right? Okay, so I fill this way all the way up to the top, and then I look at the bottom. And if I could see the black and white Secchi disc, then I know that there's the water's pretty clear. Okay, so I'll take this down the river and fill it up. You guys know that, hopefully know by the end of the week, after all this rain that we're supposedly going to get, the water quality is going to change dramatically in the Eel River. It's going to go from a nice clear right now to kind of a chocolatey milk kind of thing, right? Okay, so that's bad. Okay, if I'm a fish and I'm trying to mate with another fish that's over there, I can't see what I'm doing, right? Okay, so here's what I do is I fill this up to with water, and I look at the bottom and I actually let this go. Kind of fun if you. Yeah. Okay, and then I stop it. Okay, so let's say like the water goes down, and now I can see it at this point. This is saying that the water, okay, is cloudy. Okay, this would be clear water if I can see it all the way to the bottom. This is really cloudy. If it goes down, 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 it goes down. All of a sudden, I still can't see it. Like, can you imagine that? Like if it was this much cloudy water, I still couldn't see this black and white disc. Okay, so this is a much easier tool to use than this guy. Now, I'm a huge fan of this Algae Academy, and I thought this was genius. Like, it makes me mad that I didn't think about something like this. So you're all going to get this tool, and this is the same thing. There's your Secchi disc, and here's my units of measurement here on the side, and we are going to lower this into the water and stop it at the point where we can't see anymore. Okay, so we're going to do this to see how much our algae is growing, and we're going to do this for a few days. We're going to look at population changes of algae over time, because if you guess, okay, our algae is going to grow, and as it multiplies, what do you think the color of the algae is going to be? Yeah, a little bit darker, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you looked around at your pals next to you, we can analyze this again tomorrow. Okay, the ones that are 50 compared with the ones that are 20, this is a lot more green, right? This is a lot, you're actually watering it down even a little bit more here, right? So this is the lightest and this is the darkest green. But is it gonna stay that way?
No.
I don't know. I really don't know. Really don't know. Okay, I really don't know. Okay, we're gonna find out like in the next few days by looking at like how far deep this goes down. Okay, yes.
So for those tubes, they don't need any like air.
Yeah, so these tubes, like, I don't know if like you were gone maybe last week when I was talking about some of the stuff. Yeah. So these tubes, I got really pumped because when they came in, I was like, ooh, I like these tubes. They're very sciencey. They interlock together and you can also stack them up so it won't drip out. And the caps have a filter in it. So air is actually moving into it. So like, I was like, these are really cool. I was like, I want to just have some of these. Oh man, like it costs like $500 for like a case of them. I was like, geez Louise, they were like really expensive. So I was kind of, I'm stoked to get. What's that? Yeah, there we go. We could be like, hey man, we could do a boob. So we really need these. Yeah. Yeah. So I did get some. So I'm like, this is a long story, but we're trying to grow diatoms in my my AP Environmental Science class. So I spent way too much money on all these chemicals to create an artificial seawater. So I am, with the help of the chemistry teacher, generating artificial seawater to grow diatoms, and we'll see if it works out. But right now, it is like a slow.
Should have just took a trip to
Are
the.
we recording? Oh God! Oh God! Oh no! Take a trip to what? The ocean?
Yeah.
Let's keep
Yeah.
going.
Bring
All
it
right.
back.
We need it sterile though. That's the problem. All right. So that's kind of our plan in the next few days.
Is that
Okay?
what she's been doing in there?
Well, like with my anatomy or with my AP kids, like during first period, it's during first period.
Oh.
All right. The rest of the time, you guys, thank you for listening.
You're welcome.
Okay, see how